Hey, what's up? It's Rashad. Antonio, we are back. The Upon Further Review, going on the Penguin Season 1, Episode 6, Gold Summit. All spoilers, man. Oz Cobb is one slippery bastard. I mean,
Mhm.
he should not be where he is.
Oh no. Better yet, he should be dead.
Very much so. Like, I don't understand. Like, I still don't understand how he was able to connive, because we just jump right into it.
Mhm.
Connive all of the gangs in Gotham, minus the newly minted Gigante family, to just basically join up together. It's crazy, and they listened to him, and they were like, you know what? I'll have a beer with you too. And this, like, to me, aside from him actually growing up from rags to riches, the only analog I have for him is Donald Trump. And even some of the inflections that Colin Farrell gives are very much Trump coded cadence. Like, I just clearly hear it. It's like, oh my god, yo! It's like, is he trying to do like a low key Trump impression with some of these lines? Because that's what I'm hearing. Like, am I crazy?
Now that you say it, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's very it do sound like by the way, sorry y'all for my voice. Great weekend. But yeah, you're right. It do kind of have like that cadence of when DJT is giving little speeches and stuff like that, and he's talking to a group of folk of you're like, hey, we're gonna do this, and this is what we're going to do, and it's gonna be here, and you don't care about us. They don't know your name. I know your name. We're down here in squalor, so yeah, very, very cadences like that.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
man, like he's really doing his best, Donald J. Trump, because they should not be believing in him, and they
Yep.
are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the essence of who Trump is right now,
Mm-hmm.
for all intents and purposes, going into this, this election year. Can't wait till this election is over.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like this, it's just really he's giving off those type vibes, but being an actual legit killer. All right, I had to get out the way first.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's talk about some storylines. I want to
Okay.
talk. I want to talk about Vic's storyline first in this episode,
Okay.
and it's really this is his initiation episode. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Yeah, like he's in the gang now for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before he was like he okay. So he went from like Kendrick Lamar just being like, affiliated to
Mm-hmm.
being like YG. Like
Yeah.
like you legit in the game. So like
Yeah.
that's really where he went, because we see him at the beginning, and I told you Squid was gonna come back up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And and Squid pops, so like, yo, looking fresh, my boy.
No, you know the line that got probably me, but I know it got you. When you become a sneakerhead,
I was
got
like,
the
oh,
fresh. He said you got the fresh J's on and stuff, and he was like,
he replied, these is B grades. I was like, thank you. Thank you.
mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Because he had
Do
on
you
some.
want to care? Do you care to explain that to people who may
Oh
not
yeah,
be?
yeah, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So first he had on some, like, not matching at all. He had on some white
Mm-hmm.
Cardinal sevens. You know what I'm saying? Those was red and a little bit of gold.
Mm-hmm.
And B grades are usually like the sneakers that goes like the outlets, because they have some sort of imperfection or something wrong with them. Like, a
Yeah.
stitching is up, a color, a smudge, or like they came out the factory having like some sort of like the leather was ripped or somewhere. There's something not going to send to a regular store. Those is B
Right.
grades. So you trying to
Mm-hmm.
downplay it, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I ain't really got it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Fresh sneakers, fresh jacket, you know what I'm saying? Fresh jeans. He's totally new because he already knew this boy was poor. So he's
Mm-hmm.
like, something's going on. Then he's like, yo, everybody out in Crown Point, everybody got money right now. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's going on. I feel like you know what's going on. Don't try to play me. Just let me get on. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Don't hide him, divide him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can get a piece of this too. And he's like, he's backpedaling and he's realizing that Squid ain't going back down. So he tells him to
Right.
essentially like, all right, yo, like I don't know.
And then remember too, Squid hit him with the, yo, so who was the old lady you was with?
Oh yeah. And then
That I
Loki,
saw you walking. I saw you walking, old lady. And like, who was that? What's up with that type of thing? And he just like, he started doing his early Vix things where he's like, when he gets nervous, his speech impediment kicks in even harder. Just helping somebody out and all that stuff like that. But go ahead, man.
yeah, and then because he knows that this is like a thinly veiled threat to him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he goes back underground, and we'll get to that in a second about like just the whole operation. But he talks
Mm-hmm.
to Vic and they're having this conversation, and Vic is having his own issues,
Mm-hmm.
and he's really not listening, but he's kind of
You
listening.
mean you mean Oz?
I'm sorry, my bad. I apologize. Oz
Mm-hmm.
is having his own issue. So he's kind of
Mm-hmm.
talking with Oz. Essentially, it's about his mom because
Mm-hmm.
it's they're living in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
no, no heat. Remember when Christmas missed us? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
No
and
power.
nah, no, nothing. Run off a generator broke it. He's trying his best to metaphor for everything. He's trying to fix it
Mm-hmm.
and not able to. And the thing also, again, the relationship with his mom, he can't really fix that either.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get to that in a second. But after he explains what's going on, he says, hey, so you said you had a problem with a dude? And Vic was like, nah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you sure? He said, yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
About a day later, you bumps it back into him. You know what I'm saying? And now he's a little more forceful. Say, yo, basically, Squid been peeping people going on the ground or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, so
Mm-hmm.
what y'all got going on? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? He's like, man, matter of fact, he's stuttering and backpedaling again.
Mm-hmm.
And then he acquiesces, like, you know what? All right, yo, I'm gonna show you. So he walks a little bit.
But
Squid.
even before that, remember he tries to buy Squid.
Oh yeah. My
He's
bad.
like, he's like, look here, man. He's like, yo, I talked to my guy. You know, they just not trying to expand right now. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like a job interview. We're not hiring right now, but we'll hold on to your resume.
he had a he had a he had a drug application.
He's holding your resume and stuff like that. But he was like, here, this is what I'll do. I'll break you off some of this, just to make sure you good and you eating. Saying we good. Squid was like, man, you think you can buy me? And he started being disrespectful. And he started throwing money at him. And the first thing I thought of, Rashad, you know what movie? ATL. Oh, you just threw some money in my mouth? Oh, that is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. Yo, he just started throwing the money back at him and stuff. And you can see Vic is getting pissed, but he's like, uh, Vic knows that he has, as we say in our culture, bitch tendencies. And
Mm.
he's like real, but he's getting pissed. And so finally, the dude is like, no, what you gonna do is you Squid's like, you gonna take me to go see Oz right now. See, I don't care if you work for Oz or whatever. You can go take me to see your boss right now. Or else I think I might go get bought out by, the Maronis and Gigantes. And he's like, oh, all right, all right, all right. He says, so which way we got to go? He says, oh, just follow me. And they walk in, and Squid is just still
He
running that
chirping.
mouth, chirping. Sure, he needling that boy. And then finally, he says, you know what? He turns around and pulls out his pistol that he got earlier. Bow! And he shot that dude. And the worst part about it was it won't like a one kill shot where boom, he's dead. That shot, he shot him in his neck where his jugular was. So my man was bleeding out, choking on his blood, bleeding to death and choking on his own blood. And Vic like was just
He was
uh,
freaked.
he was like, oh my, why'd you make me do that? Why'd you make me do that? I didn't want to do that. It was like, oh man. And he he got his first body. Now I know some people might say, he got his first body when he hit dude with the car. I think that was just reactionary. This is like first one-on-one, like, he killed somebody by his hands type thing or whatever. And
And
I thought he was
also,
I thought he was about to throw up too at one point.
yeah, and also it was personal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This was fully on his own volition. It wasn't him trying to help out Oz or in the name of the gang. It was like, yo, this is really a move that I have to make because, quite frankly, I'm tired of you messing with me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after that, he goes back down and he's talking to Oz. Oz is like, hey, we got a big thing going on tonight. They gonna respect us. They gonna talk about us like forever after this. And he's looking like, hold on, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm good. And then he's like, he looked at him again. He's like, oh, I know what you did.
He said, is it about, he says, you handled that thing? He says, there's something with that guy? He said, yeah. He was like, it's handled. And then he was like, and Oz realized, and Oz just like, you ain't get caught, did you? He says, no, I got it with clean. He was like, come here, man. He said, give him a hug. It's gonna be okay. And then whispers in his ear, it gets
It gets
easier.
easier.
That's it.
Like, damn.
Just when you think Oz is kind of being a little sentimental with this kid
No.
and just being like, yo, man, like, I get it, stuff. He's like, hey, yo, don't worry, killing people gets easier. It's basically, it gets easier. And then he like, you did good, kid. You did good. You're not gonna go out to this thing tonight, though. You're gonna go home, be your mom's, clean yourself up, get yourself together. I'll see you later. That's pretty much Vic's storyline throughout this whole thing, man.
Yeah, yeah. And by far, even though he chose to do this,
Mm-hmm.
it's still probably like the most tragic.
Right, because remember he said because he chose to do it for himself, but you saw how Oz kind of was like, "You did the right thing. You protected the people that you love, that you care about,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that." So
Yeah,
yeah.
Oz loves to assign meaning to things, even if they don't really belong.
Mm-hmm.
That's really his whole MO. So, all right,
Mm-hmm.
let's. You want to talk about Maroney and Gigante?
Yes.
All right.
So the first, well, let's start from with that. I guess what we thought we didn't want to happen happened, but I'm kind of still glad we didn't see it on camera.
Oh come on, God.
But it happened. So
but
we
but but
see.
but I do appreciate the dynamic of the relationship.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. She's straight dominating this dude. Like she's like so. We
And
see Doctor,
yeah,
and he's in for it. So we see Doctor Rush. My man is like tied to a chair, hands tied behind his back. Pants are basically down just low enough. So I
just for
guess
some
it's
just for some access, you know what
just for some access. Like it
I'm
ain't down by his knees. He ain't dead naked. It's just like basically
saying?
mid thigh, where she can get on top and do what she need to do or whatever like that. And he is sweating his tail off, and she's just like so like okay. And she basically she used him to get her piece, And they talked, and then he was like, "Hey, what you want to do about Oz?" And she was like, and he was like, "Hey, when you catch him, I want to use my expertise on him or whatever." So he trying to use his torture stuff on Oz or whoever they catch. She proceeds to tell my man, "Okay, my man will see you out," or whatever. And so she walks downstairs, and what do you see in the kitchen? Maroney, Salvatore, he's moved in with her, and he's in there cooking, you know. And she's looking leery, and I can tell why she's looking leery because he pours wine and she's cooking, and he pours her a glass of wine, and he gives it to her, and you notice Rashad, she didn't sip first because of course she thought they're going poison, and then he looks at the bottle. She looked at the bottle and said, "I can't believe you opened this bottle. So this must be a real expensive old wine or something like that."
Yeah.
Then he says, "Your father just had to sit around. Why not?" And he sips the wine and she sips it. And like she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you was a cook." And he was like, "Well, my wife, family recipe gave me this, send the recipe book. I learned how to cook all the stuff or whatever, and then he was just like, I wanted to, pass it down." And then he kind of breaks down and started crying because and then he fixed the meal, whatever they fixed. She helps him a little bit. And then he was like, "Yeah, my son likes this with yogurt, says it tastes better." And they proceed to start eating. And she's like, "You know what? You're right. It is. This is what I got from that." She is getting from Salvatore Moroni what she always wanted from her father Carmine, to be a father to her, to
Yeah.
be a loving, caring, compassionate. And we saw that last episode when she sat there and said, "My father used to think that your compassion to the family was a weakness." And that's what and he is now kind of a surrogate father figure to her.
Definitely.
And I thought it was kind of a cool moment to see that happen or whatever. And like they basically talked about what they were going to do, what the plan was, and how they need to you know send a message to Oz that this type of disrespect ain't gonna happen. And she's like, and then she's like, "What you gonna do?" She's like, "Well, I'm not worried about it because we got a deal with the she says, "I still got my deal with the triad." And he like, "Yo, you had a deal with the triad when you had the drugs. You don't got the drugs or whatever. Oz got it."
Uh-huh.
And she's like, "Well, no, this and that, And they was like, "No, what they gonna do basically is anybody that has anything, any bliss on them at all, they're gonna kill them and just leave a message to like mess with Oz if you want to, but this is what's gonna happen to you because Oz, because of what we saw with that. We'll talk about how Oz has been doing in a minute. Next thing you know, we see them break. Next time we see them together, we see them break into Oz's old apartment that we saw in the beginning,
Yeah.
and they're like looking around, just trying to see stuff, and he's like, "Damn, he has to care about somebody or something." And she's like, "Man, that man don't care about nobody but himself." And then they see the picture of his brothers on his desk. And Salvatore got excited for a minute, like, "Who are these?" Like, "That's his brothers. They're all dead." It's like, "Yo, his mom died too." And they're like, "Damn." And so Salvatore is pissed. And he's like, and she just pulls out a golf club and says, "Here, practice on your swing." And and he starts like just destroying everything in the apartment. She goes into Oz's bedroom. She starts looking around and she opens one drawer. And what do we find out? We find out our boy Oz is a fan. Freaky ass is a fan. Oz kept a pair of his girl's drawers with a picture on it. And oh God, what is her name, Rashad?
Eve.
Eve he got a pair of Eve drawers. It got like a Polaroid picture of her, like, "Oh, thanks for last night." And then it's like that's when Sophia saw that, it kind of clicked to her, was like, I should have thought about that chick early, you know what I'm saying? Because she was so blinded by rage. I should have thought about that chick early. I knew it was a reason that he hung with her and stuff like that. So from that point forward, um, let's just say that Sophia heads out to the red light district of Gotham, where all the good old hookers and horrors are, or whatever. And she's questioning two of these hookers, and is showing the picture. Hey, do you know her? Her name is Eve, or whatever. I'm just looking for her. And them women, them hookers are looking at her like, lady, we know who you are, because everyone still thinks that she is the actual hangman. They're looking at her
Yeah.
like, yeah, we know who you are. Yeah, we don't know her. Whatever. They don't know nothing about her. They leave. Then there's one, Roxanne, and that's the one that was flirting with Vic earlier on in the season. She says, hey, I can take you to Eve for the right price. And what happens?
She does.
She takes her to Eve, you know.
Yeah.
And Eve, and the thing is, Sophia knocks on the door. She got the gun out, knocks on the door. Eve opens up, and Eve is so unbothered. And she's just like, hey, come on in. And then Sophia's looking, and she's like, it seems like you were expecting me. She says, yeah. She says, I knew you was going to come looking for me eventually. The girl Roxy, I told her to send you my way so you can, she says, so we can save you and me both the trouble of what's going on right now. And they have, I guess, what you say, a girl talk, heart to heart girl talk about
Yeah.
what's going on, because she didn't really recognize Eve at first, because Eve don't have her wigs on. She's not being performative, you know what I'm saying, when she's being a hooker and stuff like that. She just looks normal, you know. And they're talking, and she's like, so do you put this stuff on for you, or do you put it on for the performance? And she's like, yeah, a little bit of both. And they're just having chit chat, girl talk. And then Eve's like, look here, I know what Oz is. He's a narcissist. He's a murderer. He's a killer. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. He's all, so he's all that. That's why I told him to kind of like, hey, leave me alone or whatever. And then she was like, I knew that you was going to come for me as the hangman or blah, blah. And she said, and that's when it clicked to Sophia. She said, you still think I'm the hangman? She was like, you are, ain't you?
Yeah.
She was like, so Oz didn't tell you. And she's like, Eve is like, tell me what? And she proceeds to be like, yeah, she tell her the story about how she's not really the hangman, how Oz set her up and all this, and like how Oz knew, because Eve was like, basically let her know, I'm scared of you, but I'm not scared of you at the same time, because she started naming off all the women that her father as the hangman killed off. And that's how she also was like, yo, I'm not the hangman. That's what it is. So
Yeah.
they're talking, they're having a conversation, and then she's like, look here, you know, I'm content with what's going to happen. If you're going to kill me, let's just go ahead and do this, but I need you to do me a favor. Leave my girls alone. Leave my girls alone. Don't do nothing to them. She was like, I got their back. They got my back. And Sophia appreciates that. And she just looks at her and was like, huh, well, it's good to have loyalty, and walks away. And then Eve finally is like, Crown Heights. And she was like, he's over in Crown Heights. That's where he's at. And then,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah, we messed up. It's Crown Point.
I said Crown Heights.
You
Crown
know,
Point.
Crown
Sorry.
Point. Also, don't forget that in that scene, she also, after she said, oh, you think I'm the hangman? And she's like, yeah, of course you are. She said, no, 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 that was my dad. My dad killed all them girls. And then we basically put it on me. He said, but Oz knew the whole time. He set it up. He enabled my dad to, keep his status
Mm-hmm.
and everything. And that actually
Mm-hmm.
helped him out too. Oh, he didn't tell you, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he didn't tell you. Nah, yeah, yeah. He knew.
Yeah.
He knew your friends were killed. You know what I'm saying? And he
Mm-hmm.
didn't do anything about it. So I this is the reason why I love the writing on the show,
Mm-hmm.
because everybody always gets legitimate reasons to do the thing they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's never really, it's maybe like once or twice, but usually it's because of a reaction to something, or something that they seeded earlier, and it's just like paying off. It's not
Yeah.
just like some random stuff, because you already knew how Oz was moving with Eve was reckless anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He had the hostage at the house. You know what I'm saying? He was having meetings over there and stuff. Like it
Mm-hmm.
just was like, yo, like why are you in my house? Like you should be at your house. And just how he was like, being like almost like being just very passive and then just very usury towards her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you know what? I'm tired of Oz too.
Mm-hmm.
And then proceeds to say, hey, he's over at Crown Points. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this thing. Which leads us to Oz. Because Oz is really the center point of this episode. And I just want to say at the beginning of this episode, we have another New Jack City type reference because if he ain't Nino Brown when he first started selling crack for real, and is
Uh-huh.
like this is what it was to me.
Yeah. I love too how so apparently it's been some time that's passed since then.
Let's just say like a couple weeks. It can be
A
more than a
couple
month.
of weeks.
Hold on, because
Because
matter of fact, because it's cool. It's like fall, and now it's snowing outside. So let's just say it
right.
went because even the Batman's supposed to be around Christmas time. So let's just say it's
Okay.
early December.
Early December. So yeah, because we saw where, the operation underground now is up and running. Up and running.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, yo, we went from just having 2 buckets of the shrooms to we fully operational. And I mean, they have a bunch of shrooms now growing up
Mm-hmm.
in there. And he has all his workers there. And then a call back to what we said earlier, because Squid was like, yo, everybody in Crown Point eating now, they got money. Oz is finally being able to be that gangster that he loved so much growing up.
Yes.
The guy he
Yes.
Oz basically hired all the people in Crown Point to work for him, and he says he provides money for them. You know what I'm saying? They do the work, they get the money, he says you keep them happy, you keep the money going, they're gonna have your loyalty and your trust. And so they're like, and then too, like, I guess the young boys that are runners all got dirt bikes that are like able to get in and out of the tunnel, to get in and out of the tunnels and stuff to get there. Because remember, he said the tunnels are like a maze. He says it's hard. You got to really know how to get through them. And so, like, the operation is bustling, and he's able to now, he's providing the bliss to the different gangs. Some gangs don't know about each other because they're rival gangs. He's like, hey, it don't matter as long as, saying they have, saying, what's this stuff that's going on. So all that is, so it's working like clockwork. And then, you even see him going home to see his mom, and Vic is in there making breakfast for dinner. It seemed like eggs and sausage or whatever. And that's where you also see mom is like starting to, dementia is starting to really kick in and deteriorate her. And because she thought that Oz was her husband and was talking about the sons. And then, like, she was just starting to get hysterical. But Vic has found a way to calm her down, to make her basically tell her, yeah, your son, he went to the, I know he went to go pay the bill for the heat and everything. And Oz looked and was like, hey man, don't talk about my brother like that. He's like, yo, I'm trying to help you. Oz is not trying to hear that, because he wants his mom to be quote unquote normal. He knows what's up with his mother. He wants her to be normal, but it's to the point now where she's not, saying a normal functioning, person now because of dementia. All that is going on. Everything seems to be sweet. The next thing you know, Oz gets a phone call. Hey man, check out the news. He's like, yo, check out the news. He tells Vic, pull it up. Come to find out, this is where back to Tiny and Sophia and Maroney, one of the gangs, saying they had the bliss on them that he provided. They hit him and strung him up by the feet. And what did he do? They cut the pinky finger off the same way Oz and them cut off Alberto's finger. And if Oz knew exactly what this was, it's a scare tactic. Don't worry. But the problem with that was that the other gang members saw this and was like, "Oh hell no, we don't want to be bothered. No, we ain't trying to be bothered with the new
Mm-mm.
Giagante family or whatever." and they're not trying to do it. Oz is just trying his best to kind of hold things together and talk to these people to do, saying all this stuff or whatever to keep it flowing. Go ahead.
You know what he does?
What's that?
He does the free crack giveaway.
Right. That's what I was about to get to. He actually does the free crack giveaway.
And it wasn't a trick. Like, shout out Dave Chappelle, yo. With one of the funniest episodes ever.
He did.
This ain't the free crack giveaway.
we still get some crack at the end, though, right?
I see your car, Rhonda.
Yo, so he basically is like, he basically goes the route of supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, he goes back to the tunnel to headquarters and tells, look here, this is what I want y'all to do. Take all the product that we got, go to every neighborhood, every corner, whatever. Just give it away. And they're like, you don't want us to collect no money? No, we don't need to collect no money. He says, because you give it away, give the people what they want, they're gonna go to the gang members and stuff, and they'll be like, hey, yo, man, where that bliss at? And stuff, and they ain't gonna have no choice to come back to me because they can't go to Sophia. Because he explains to Vic, the problem with it is all the gangs are so territorial. And this to me was kind of like a callback to The Wire.
Yeah.
Wire. Yeah. It was always like, oh, this is my corner. That's my corner. From here, from 15th Street to 25th Street, those 10 blocks are my corners. Don't nobody come here and stuff like that. When you got the Gigante, aka Falcone and Maroney crew, they're so big. Those families are so big and those gangs are so big that they can take out these little corners by themselves. So he's trying to come up with a play to get everybody to work, to get everybody to work together. So he's going to flood the market with bliss for free. No problem. Chilling. And just flood the market where they have no choice but to come back to him. In the meantime, while this is going on, once again, Mama Cobb is just still losing it. He goes home. He's like, Mom, where you at? And she's like, help, Oswald, help. She is in the bathtub and the water is freezing. And he is just like, yo, how long you been in here? This and that. And she starts, and then she finally does what I'm not going to say a lot of people, but you hear about some people who suffer from dementia and stuff say, she's like, look here, I know you're trying to help, but this is what I am right now. I want you to kill me. I don't want to be there. She was like itching on myself, not knowing what I'm doing and stuff. She said, I want, what I'm saying, I'm already losing my faculties. I want to at least go out knowing, saying who I am and knowing and stuff. And Oz is just like,
oh my, it ain't even natural. I can't do that.
Yeah,
and he tells him to stop being a pussy. I was like, oh snap.
You know what that is? I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. That's a trigger, yo. That is a trigger, and I think that's a trigger too with men and their mother saying that to them. Like, I think if their dad say it to them or whatever,
yeah, like, it hit a little different.
You challenging my manhood as a father, as a son, or whatever like that. But when your mom said it to you, like, I'm your baby boy.
I thought you loved me. Oh, yeah. What are we doing right now?
Right.
Yeah. But the sad thing is, like, she really wants him to perform euthanasia, and he's like, "No, I can't do it." She's like, "Nah, I need you to do this."
Like, how? And she tells him, how to do it too, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, you a killer. Like, don't sound like you never killed him before. But I know the looming idea of him having to kill his own mother, that doesn't settle well. And of course, for him, because he has this overwhelming need to have the approval of his mom, he reluctantly agrees. And
yeah, go. I'm sorry.
No, it's just, I just want to say, like, it's just a really sad state of affairs because he may not be able to show his mother the life that she wanted
Mm-hmm.
because he was trying to get her in like you said last episode in the
The
penthouse.
deluxe apartment in the sky. Can't believe I still hit that note with my voice
I know,
halfway.
yeah. Man, somebody get this man some money. No, but for real, yo, like he really wanted to do that for her because they were all they had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even think about it because even though he hit her well up until now,
Uh-huh.
the only pictures he had was what of a girl that he was clapping cheeks with and his brothers, and that was
Mm-hmm.
it. But he cared for his mom and wanted to make sure that his mom was well taken care of.
Yeah. And then too, he was hurt because like I said, in Crown Point, there is a power grid problem. There's no power in Crown Point, and like he's trying to get this water, and the water's freezing and stuff. So after that happens, Oz has a moment. You know what he had? He had a breaking point. You know what I'm saying? What's that movie with Michael Douglas falling down?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking
Yeah, when
about.
he just, saying one bad day and he just went on a rampage. He was about to go on a rampage in Gotham. So after that conversation with his mom,
And
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 then
and
like
also the conversation with Vic.
right
And
conversation
and real quick, if we get into that, like he's working on this again
Jennifer.
on the generator, and in the
Mm-hmm.
generator he has like a set of pliers, and he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to get these wires in, and it's just not working. Okay.
Yeah. So he goes down to like City Hall area of Gotham where power is running and stuff, and he sees that councilman that y'all remember earlier on in this, like I think episode 1 or 2, where he had that folder of like him doing corrupt stuff
True.
that
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fal-
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Carmine had on him, and he told this guy, "Hey, give it to him, give it directly to him, and just let him know who it came from or whatever." So this councilman is talking with some other people, cops and cops, blah 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 blah. He's walking to the car. Oz just comes from around the corner. Hey, councilman, what's good? Can't thank me? You don't know who I am? He was like, hey man. He was like, hey man, I was indebted to Carmine. He dead now. I ain't worried about it. He says, no, you indebted to me now. He's like, what you talking about? And Oz proceeds to take them pliers that he had and grab a hold of his septum and pinch and pull and he goes on his speech. One thing I can so at first I was thinking, I said, this is Oz trying to look out for the everyday little man. But then I snapped out of that real quick, fast in a hurry. Oz trying to make sure he got power running at his operation in that tunnel because earlier David just had a bunch of generators and one of his guys was trying to work on the power supply thing. And the guy's like, yo, I'm trying, Oz. But he was like, and the thing is, Oz is, I will say this, he is understanding with his guys on this crew.
Yeah. Yeah. He
He's
is. He's
very
not irrational about stuff. He's not
yeah,
like he's not like indiscriminately just killing folks because they're not
yeah.
performing well.
He was like, hey, Oz, I'm trying my best, but he's just kind of hard. He was like, you're doing a good job, man. Just keep up, just keep trying and stuff. And he's telling this dude, hey, y'all are taking power from Crown Point, the poor people. They live in it. He said they don't have no heat. It's cold water. While you living up here, you got that. He says, hey, get the power back on at Crown Point. And of course, politics, he just, it's a bunch of red tape, this and that. He's like, man, I don't care. You got 24 hours. Get this power back on. And the thing, the guy finally, all right, I will. He was like, and I love it when Oz does this. He gets vicious and does this. It's okay, relax, man. It's just your nose. It reminded me back to what happened with Vic when Vic and them was trying to steal his own rims. He was like, you gonna steal from me? He like, he was like, Jesus Christ, can't relax, calm down. It's like after he threatens you and basically is gonna say he's gonna kill you, he reassures you, it's okay, you do what you
Tony, the part that had me weak was when he was trying to get out. He said, "Hey man, you got more space than you think."
Yeah, yeah. Just okay, back up. You got more space. You got more space than you think. Back up. He
was helping him get out of the spot.
Yo, so
just brilliant writing, yo, because it's so it could like that could be such a throwaway seeing him just riding away and leaving, but
Yeah,
adding that little bit of
yeah.
dialogue,
Hey man, you got
add
more space than you think. It's
yeah,
back at the
adds
hotel.
levity, but also brings more depth to the character, man. Like yo,
Right.
Oz is he's just a well-rounded character, yo.
Yeah. So this is at that point where Vic has killed Squid, and Oz is like, "Hey, I've got to set up a meeting with all the gangs, whatever, whatever." He's telling like other people, like, "Hey, whatever happens, happens tonight," because Oz is like, "Yo, my luck might finally run out on this shit."
For real.
And he has them take like a big case and put in the back of a truck, and they go to the meeting point, and they meet all the gangs. It's about what, like 8 gangs, 8, 9 gangs of gang leaders there. The one chick got the shotty ready to hit him in the body. Yo, she got the shotty cocked and ready.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're all there, like, "Oh, what are you doing here? What's up?" And then the one guy that got the his gang members, the ones that got strung up and killed, their finger cut off by Sophia. Oz is like, "It's okay, guys. It's okay. I got something for y'all." This man has a cooler full of beer, opens it up, and just starts tossing it to him, and they're catching it like, "Yo, what? Yo, are you playing in our face? Is this some type of joke?" And then that's when Oz goes on to give, in my opinion, a very great and passionate speech about how, "Hey man, we the little guys, we're the ones that what I'm saying, we should be running Gotham. The only reason we can't is because y'all bickering, you bickering with them. We know you. I know you don't like them." He said, "But I know all y'all names." He says, "The only reason we can't do nothing because the Gigantes and Maronis and them, they got more people in their family. They can take y'all out. Why can't we all work together?" And he's basically like, it's basically almost like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, baby. Like, we can do this
Yeah,
and work together.
yeah.
And like I said, this goes back to me with The Wire, of when um Proposition Joe
Prop
and
Joe.
Prop Joe and Stringer Bell came up with the co-op, where they
That's
had all
exactly what I was gonna say, y'all.
the co-op where all the gangs and all like the little gangs in Baltimore came together to basically, what I'm saying, "Hey, we got a problem. We're gonna keep these New York guys out of here," and stuff like that. They all work together. And Prop was like, "Yo, I'm the connect for the best pure coke." And what I'm saying, he was getting it from the Greek, by the way, which is also funny because he wasn't Greek. And he said, "I'm not even Greek." Then we found that out in The Wire.
Yo, that
It
finale
was,
was crazy. Yo,
and
when he had to dip. Oh man, I gotta watch The Wire again,
he
yo.
says, "I'm not even Greek," or whatever. So that's what it's like. It's like Oz is going to be like kind of the Prop Joe
Yeah,
of this thing, because he's like, "I'm gonna provide y'all with bliss. The people want it, because they're like, 'Yo, man, why you dropping off this drugs in my corners in my neighborhood?' It's like, this is what they want. Drops are dead. Nobody cares about drops for real like that. What I'm saying, anymore.
nah.
This is where." What I'm saying? This is where it's at. He was like, "They don't know your names. I know you." And he talked about each family, like each gang family. He was like, "Yo, man, your family, they helped build the city. They're the oldest gang here. They helped build that bridge. Do you think the Sullivan name is up there? No, it's some rich cat's name up there." It's like, "Y'all, I know y'all. I know y'all. I know y'all. I know y'all know me." And then it was like, "Well, why should we listen to you?" So the triad called. It was like,
The triad dude was like, man,
"You
we know
do anything. We know who you are."
you know who you are. You will lie. He said you double cross Sophia to get the drug in the first place. And
Mm-hmm.
Oz is like, I know.
Yeah, he says,
I
"I know what
did.
I." He says, "I know what I am, and I know what I've done." He says, "But I'm here right now trying to give y'all a solution, basically."
He said, look, yo, he really hit them with the most blackest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is, or yesterday's price ain't today's price type. What I'm saying?
And guess who was the
Like,
first? And guess who was the first person to crack open that beer?
the black gang leader.
Like,
What I'm saying? He said,
I already know what this is.
"I peeped game." He popped the beer open, and then like the chick, I think she was like in charge of the Latinos.
Yeah,
She popped the beer, then you just start seeing them all pop the beer, and he's like, "Yeah, it worked." So that to me is, and that's where the title of this film, that is the name of their little crew now. That joint is going to be the Golden Circle.
yeah, the Gold Summit. Yeah,
Yeah, Summit. I said Golden Circle. Yeah, Golden Summit.
Golden Circle. Where's that from?
Um,
I feel like that's from somewhere.
yeah. So while all that is going on, Vic is at the crib. You know what I'm saying? Watching mom and stuff. Mom is in the room, knocked out, sleep. Next thing you know, power comes back on in Crown Point. And y'all know how it is when especially, Rashad, from the area that we grew up in and lived in for most of our lives, tropical storms, hurricanes come through, power go off. Then when the power come back on, like whatever was on during the time the power went off, if it was a radio, TV, comes up loud, lights and stuff, she started freaking. What the hell is going on? And he's like, and Vic is like, yo, Oz did it. Oz did it. He said, I'm gonna turn off the radio. And she said, the record player. She's like, no, 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 keep it going. And she's so happy. And she's dancing because she's hearing her music. Because that's the one thing she wanted was her music. Because that's
Yeah.
even earlier on. And they're just having a good old time dancing, doing a little two step or whatever, until we see who has walked into the apartment and is just standing there with a crowbar. One Miss Sophia Gigante. I said, "Oh my God, she is about to go to work on this old lady and this boy." Fade to black.
Another amazing episode on television.
Somebody made a good point. I saw one of these groups on Facebook. This show has not had a bad episode yet.
Nah, that's what we've been saying.
And that's what we said.
What
Just
we've been
bang.
saying. Like, yo, every episode has been legit
Mm-hmm.
on standing on its own, just
Mm-hmm.
great television.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and for me, because I'm very aware of this part when it comes to watching TV,
Mm-hmm.
this show is so tense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It
Ooh.
keeps you at the edge of your seats because it's like, yes, I know. We know it's like what 8 episodes of this or whatever, and we know that Oswald is the particular character on this. But you always be saying to yourself, yo, how is he gonna get his way out of this? How he gonna
Yeah,
get his way out of this?
man.
Like is Vic, I'm saying, is Vic really built this way? It's even with Squid, seeing that Vic was bringing his mom in and stuff like that. Also, yo, how crazy is Sophia about to get in this situation? So I great episode. I can't wait because I believe next week is the penultimate episode.
Yeah, we got two left, man. We got one
Somebody,
on.
I think somebody's dying, man.
Somebody gotta die. The name of it, and just I'll give you a quick head. The name of the next episode is Top Hat. So I mean, we already know what the top hat's for when it comes to the penguin as a character and lore. But what that could mean for him is definitely him being ahead of this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, this show's been so good, yo.
Yeah, so good, so good. And I've been telling people, this isn't just. Don't think of this just as like a comic booky show, man. I said this is like a crime show, a mafia.
Yeah, man. This is rivaling some of the, I won't say like the S tier,
Mm-hmm.
but like the A tier shows, like crime shows. This is definitely up there with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I doubt we get another season in this.
Yeah.
But just standing on its own as let's just say this is a limited series,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best limited series. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like without question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's one thing I can say about HBO. They have hit it out the park with one season limited series, like The Watchmen, Lovecraft Country.
Wasn't slated to be one season.
I know. But even though it is just one season, please give us back another episode, but some more episodes of that. But Lovecraft Country, The Watchmen, and now this right here, killing it right now. So
Bruh.
yeah.
And I know we said this ends on, like, we got 2 more episodes of this. It ends on the 10th. But right after this ends, Dune Prophecy begins. So if you've been enjoying our recaps and our, very black leaning banter for this, definitely join us for Dune Prophecy because we absolutely adore that franchise, especially how Denis Villeneuve has visualized that for us, and how how ingenious they've been in making that. And then going back 1,000 years to see the Bene Gesserit, almost kind of like Oz, trying to establish their empire, is going to be very, very fun to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. That's all I got, bro.
Yeah, between that, of course, Thursday we're back with Agatha All Along, last two episodes for that. I feel like a movie comes out pretty soon. When does Gladiator 2 come out? Is it the week after next?
I thought it was Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah. Gladiator 2 comes out Thanksgiving. We for certain will be watching that and reviewing that as well. Because I definitely want to see Denzel in Rome. Denzel in Rome. My bad. Yeah. Definitely want to see Denzel in Rome. So yeah, man. That's all we got for this one, man. Till next time.
Peace out, y'all.